Good morning, and I'd like to thank the organisers for inviting me to speak to you this morning about the EU regulatory approach towards comparability for biosimilars. I've got a number of housekeeping slides that are not dissimilar to my FDA colleague that I need to go through just quickly. One of them involves copyright, for whom I work. The second is a disclaimer. This is more important. So what I'm saying to you today is not the view of the agency and cannot be construed as scientific advice. The contents of this talk are, we're going to talk a little bit about the biosimilar concept. I'm going to go through some of the experience of biosimilars in the EU. Chris this morning has gone through with you the EPAs, the European Public Assessment Reports, and so everything I will be telling you is in the public domain. And although one can concede that the EMEA website is a little bit labyrinthine, you can obtain these for yourself to have a look at as well. We'll talk about the scientific principles for the comparability exercise and then go on to the quality issues, some of the clinical issues. Going to highlight some of the scientific advice. I think this is a way in which some of the deficiencies that have been highlighted this morning about communication with the agencies within Europe might well be able to be addressed. I'm going to talk a little bit about monoclonal antibodies and the potential for biosimilars here. There are no biosimilar approved products in the European Union at the moment for monoclonals, but there is a guideline on it and there is an anticipation that they will be coming. I'm going to talk very, very quickly towards the end about extrapolation of efficacy and safety to other indications. This is the interchangeability of the biosimilars in the marketplace. So if we go on to the biosimilar concept, the European law provides for the basis of biosimilar products. This is different to the generics legislation. The generics legislation, in a nutshell, is informed consent, or there's at least 10 years use, or that it has the same qualitative and quantitative composition, or none of those things are likely to be true for biologics. For generics, there's relatively small PD/PK studies usually required to give 80 to 120% response to the originator. That is not what is required for biosimilars. So the article is given there. The comparability studies are needed to generate evidence substantiating the similar nature in terms of quality, safety and efficacy of a new similar biological medicinal product against its chosen reference medicinal product, and that is one that is authorised within the community. So the amending directive, this is probably the top sentence here, is possibly one of the more important, because the amending directive leaves a wide degree of discretion for the regulatory authorities to decide the extent of the preclinical and clinical packages. So in the case of Europe and in the case of the centralised procedure, the regulatory authority is the European Medicines Agency. That is a sort of pan-European organisation, but the actual assessment is done by individual member states. Usually for a centralised procedure, it's normally 2 member states are chosen as rapporteur and co-rapporteur, and they generally have to agree for a positive outcome, and indeed the rest of CHMP